guys? Kyle here with Wagner Shots, and today we're in Grant Park and we're going to be doing some landscapes. So what we're going to go over today is different lenses are going to give you different results for whatever you're shooting. And I haven't done landscapes in a little while, so this is going to be a good kind of exercise for me. And we're going to show you that no matter what lens you have, you're going to be able to get better landscapes. So follow along, here we go. Alright, so I just see this little cool ravine down here that I want to get a picture of. And for me, I live at f2.8. I love having shallow depth of field, and I try to incorporate it into as many of my photos as I can. Landscapes are a really interesting thing because typically you almost want to have the full scene, but for such a dense wooded area like this, everything gets noisy, you know? There's way too much going on in the frame, so if you can isolate your subject, you can get better pictures this way. And this is a Tamron 24-70. It's a great lens, and it allows me that f2.8 aperture. In a little bit we're going to switch lenses, but check out, see what I get. Well, here's a little thing. With the 24-70 focal length on our crop sensor bodies, you're actually not going to get a very wide angle shot. So it makes your brain work a little bit differently. You want to pick out your subject more so than just getting one big picture. So see these little guys here? These little pathways? These are really interesting. They give you leading lines automatically in the frame, and you're almost guaranteed to get something good out of it. So let's try this at 70 mil. See what I get, huh? I like that little rock right there. Maybe a tree in back. Something in the middle. Everything looks good. So maybe you have an older film lens that's 24-70 or 28-80, 105, something at the longer range. Not a problem. You can put it on your camera and just work a little different. If you can't get the whole scene, pick out little stories within it. Good tip. Alright, so I saw this fallen tree here, and this looks really cool. I like stuff like this. And I'm switching up the lens. So right now I've got my 10-24 on, and we're gonna get super close to the tree and get super wide just for some different perspective. So you'll see the images in a second, but you gotta get your feet dirty sometimes to get something fun. So oh, that's pretty powerful looking. Getting down low. Oh, that's really cool. And with this lens I like, you can focus very, very close to your subject, and it gives a nice, almost swirly effect in the background. This lens is not optically perfect, but it does give you some pretty cool results. So this is one of the reasons I can't just let this guy go. There's a little bit of magic about it, I tell you. Hide down way in there. See what we get. Pretty neat. Cool. So another tip that's going to be good for you is getting a little bit different angle. You can see this is a little bit precarious of a position, but this is somewhere that your eyes aren't going to typically see. So the way you use your camera, you're going to give people images that they're not going to see when walking around here. That's another thing that's going to set your landscapes apart and give you better images. Now let's have a look. Pretty neat. I dig it. Now, try and get a little more stable here, huh? Might help. And for this, I'm actually going to have a little bit greater depth of field so I do get everything in focus here, because you have a lot going on with the, you know, these big branches falling down into the ravine, and I want to keep that as clear as possible. So I'm probably going to focus maybe 35-40 feet into the scene, and that's going to give me enough depth of field at f11 to get just about everything in sharp focus. So let's have a look, see how it goes. Oh, I have my knees in here too. That's kind of neat, actually. Gives you a little different perspective. and also my shutter speed is pretty low. I want to make sure I get things as sharp as possible, so I'm going to bump my ISO up, keep that shutter speed up. Cool, let's move on. So right now we've got this fence post, really good for leading lines through your frame. And we've also got a big oak tree right there that's really juxtaposed. You've got stuff going through and stuff going straight up. And I switched over to my 35mm lens here. And like I said, I love shallow depth of field. This lets me go down to f1.8. So that is very, very tiny. It's a beautiful look. And it just makes everything fall off in the background. It's just dreamy. So I'm gonna shoot some more of this and fight the mosquitoes and go at it. We'll shoot some more with this lens. So right now we still have the leading lines over here. We've got another big tree right in the middle of the pathway, and there's also a little bench hiding over there. And I want to get all of this in as sharp focus as possible. So I gotta stop down all the way to f16 and try and get this shot compressed in here. So let's have a look. And all you're gonna see right now is Tyler, but we'll have the final image in a minute, no problem. Right now we're up on the top of the ravine and there's a big open area. So I'm gonna switch over to the 70-200 and really go for some tight close-ups. There's some staircases down there. Just another way to get a little bit different angle again of your landscapes. It's not just about the whole scene. There's little scenes that tell their individual stories. So let's have a look, see what we get. So get as bird's eye as you can, be as safe as you can, but I'm comfortable standing here. I know this is what's gonna get me the shot that I'm looking at it right now. It's beautiful. So that bridge coming through, you can see the beach. There's some little stairs on the side. It's just awesome. And you can't get this from standing down there. Sometimes you got to get a different vantage point. Get up high, get down low, you know, get close to stuff like we were looking up through the trees. Just use your brain. Get creative, because you can't take a bad picture necessarily. You're gonna like it or you don't. And I like what I got here. Alright, so what we're doing here, we've got a little scene set up and we're going to run through the different focal lengths. So we're going to start at 200 and work our way down all the way to 10mm so you can really see how much reach am I getting with the 200? How wide is the 10? This is going to give you a good example of what all these lenses have. We're on a tripod in the same place, so this isn't going to move, just the lens itself that we're using is. So we'll have a look and see how we go. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes this episode of Wagner Does Shots. We went through and shot some landscapes, used all the different lenses in my kit, and you get to see a comparison at the end of how every focal length, kind of what it does in terms of stepping and how close you can get to your subject.
Yeah.
So,
and it was a beautiful day today.
It was beautiful. Tyler has been the awesome cameraman. He recorded all the footage that you saw today.
I have experience in camera angles and shots.
He's been a trooper because
I'm just not good
the flies have been at us like ridiculous. So
I'm not good with holding a microphone though.
You're getting that. You're getting better. We'll get that all situated.
Oh no, it's not that. It's just the struggle of focusing on the shot and then
the audio. Yeah. So this is a new little experiment for us. We have the audio recorder. We went out into the real world and did some extracurricular activities, I guess. But there you go. Let us know what you think. Like and share, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks a lot, guys. Wagner Does Shots, signing off.